What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Leizel. So for today's video, I am going to be doing a full face of first impressions on a bunch of recent makeup pickups that I have accumulated. So if you guys would have watched any of my recent videos, I actually did my first Ulta haul video, which I'm going to leave the link for that somewhere up here on the screen. Yes, I have never purchased anything from Ulta before. I was really excited that I was able to grab some things from there. Shout out to my fiance because he really is my plug when it comes to getting makeup that isn't available here in Australia that I can get in the US. He really does me some favors sometimes when it comes to me wanting to try out certain things. So with that being said, I'm pretty much just going to be testing out a bunch of makeup products that I haven't used before in order to create this look right here, which can we take a moment of appreciation. I typically don't go for purples, but I have purple eyeshadow, purple nails. Like, I subconsciously painted my nails purple yesterday, pastel purple, and I have a purple pastel tie-dye tee on, so like, who am I? But anyways, before I get started, if you do enjoy these types of videos, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like it before you leave it, and if you're new, you know what to do. Join the crew by hitting the little red subscribe button down below and click the bell as well, so you don't miss any more videos that I post. And with that being said, let's get started. Alright you guys, so to start things off today, I am going to begin by doing my base. So I'm going to go in with primer first. This is the Rimmel matte primer. I do use the other primer. I don't know what it's called though. I should know what it's called because I use it every single day. I think it's pretty much just like an all-around type of primer, but this one is specifically targeted to mattifying the face. So I'm just going to take some of this. It feels slightly different. It smells a little bit stronger than the one that I usually use. I actually don't mind the smell of it. It's like, it smells like moisturizer, like scented moisturizer or something. But yeah, it feels slightly stickier, kind of, like it has a little more tackiness to it than the regular one that I use. But I actually don't mind that, so I'm just going to let that kind of settle into the skin for a bit. Now for foundation today, I'm going to be using a foundation that I recently did a first impressions on. So I have used this foundation before, however, I wanted to use it again today because I've only used it once before. So this is the new Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Powder Foundation. If you guys watched my first impressions video, then you know exactly how it went down with this powder, but I really like it and I honestly do see myself using this on the regular. I feel like this just might replace my everyday mineral powder foundation that I use, but yeah, I'm going to be using this today as my foundation. So for reference, if you guys are of a similar skin tone to me, this one is 210. It does come with a applicator sponge, but I didn't really fancy that too much, so I might just go with using this brush. I will see whether this can like build up to the intensity that I want it to be. Maybe I'll have to go in with the sponge in certain areas to kind of see if I need like extra coverage in certain areas. But if you guys watched my first impressions video on this, then you would know that I did really like it. The reason why I liked it so much is because it's so lightweight. Like, it literally felt like I did not have anything on my face for most of the day, and I just genuinely enjoyed wearing it. So that's why I wanted to test it out again today. I might go in with a little bit of powder using the applicator sponge as well, just to the areas where I feel like I need it. I feel like around my nose I have like the most visible pores and like some slight redness around the nose as well, so I feel like I don't mind going in with the sponge to those areas. Kind of like spot concealing, that's what it reminds me of, but I'm just using a powder. Alright, so that is foundation, I guess you could call it, done. I know some people are a little bit iffy when it comes to applying liquids on top of powders, but honestly this is how my routine goes whenever I do my like everyday regular makeup routine. So with that being said, I am going to try out these concealers today, which I've been really excited to test out for quite some time now. These are the e.l.f. 16-hour Camo concealers. They are apparently a satin finish, so I have two shades here. I have medium peach and light beige, so I think I'm gonna go with light beige and apply it in all the areas that I like to usually apply my concealer. Yeah, I've been really excited to use this concealer for a while, but we don't actually have it in stores here in Australia. We have the regular Camo concealer, I think, but not the hydrating one, and everyone always says good things about the hydrating one, so I was like, you know what, let me just test it out. I'm just going to use this little airbrush buffing brush to kind of pat and blend that into the skin. I feel like it blends in fairly easy, but under the eyes, let's see how this goes. Might need to add a little bit more product. I feel like it kind of dries up really quick. Like it's not a concealer that can kind of just sit in place and then you blend it in. I feel like it dries very quickly. This might be a little bit too dark for me as well. I think when I ordered this, my skin tone was a little bit darker, but over the past few months it's kind of lightened up a little bit. I definitely need to go outside, get some vitamin D, go to the beach or something like that, because I feel like my skin tone has kind of lightened up a little bit, which I don't mind. I feel like now that I'm older, I'm being very cautious with, you know, sun protection and stuff, because yeah, skin cancers are no joke. So I just want to make sure that I'm being mindful of all of that, but I definitely need to get some more color back into my skin, that's for sure, because I do tan very, very easily. Even when I do wear sun protection, I do tan really easily. So yeah, I think that's looking kind of yellow on me actually. I'm gonna go ahead and set that in place really quick, and I'm going to use some of the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. This isn't a first impression. I obviously have used this before, but I don't have any new powders that I've recently purchased, so I'm just going to use this to set the concealer in place. And the shade that I'm using is light, so maybe this will kind of help to, you know, lighten it up but brighten it up a little bit. So I'm just going to set underneath my eyes and also the other areas where I applied the concealer. In regards to that concealer, I like it, but maybe I'd have to try it under different circumstances and not use it over the top of a powder foundation, just because I guess there are certain concealers that you can do that with. I think this one likes more of a like hydrated surface, and I feel like on top of the powder foundation it's looking like a little bit crepey, so I might have to try that again, like with a regular liquid foundation, and see how it kind of goes with that. But that is the concealer done. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of blend at the edges with the same powder brush that I used to apply the foundation. I'm just going to apply some eye primer to my eyes, because I'm going to move on from the base and go into doing my eyeshadows. Now, of course, again, I don't have any new eye primer to use. I feel like I have a lot of new lip products, a lot of new eyeshadows, and some other things like primer, setting spray, lip liners, that kind of thing. But I don't have like the little random things like eye primer, foundation, that kind of thing, which I hope you guys don't mind. But I really was just excited to use all of the things that I recently hauled. So that is the lids primed. Now for today's look, I'm going to be using this eyeshadow palette from Juvia'S place. I've actually never used any of their products before, and I've been really excited to test this out as soon as I opened it, because look at the colors. Like, it's so far out of my comfort zone. You guys can see I painted my nails yesterday and I went with purple subconsciously, and then I put on this like purple tie-dye tee today, and then I was like, hey, I have a purple eyeshadow palette to test out, so we're just going crazy with the purple, obviously. But yeah, I want to test out this eyeshadow palette today. I also do have a few of the e.l.f., what are these called? The e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadow palettes. So they're these little tiny quads that are, I think they're like $3 each, something ridiculous like that. But I think I want to kind of create obviously a purple look, but I might throw in like this shade over here, like as a matte transition shade, because as you guys can see, this palette is just like straight purple. So first things first, we're going to go into the bite-sized eyeshadows, which I've been very intrigued and curious by these, because I just cannot fathom how these are only $3. Like, it's crazy to me. So we're going to take this shade over here in the corner. This is just a, from what I can see, like a matte mauve type of eyeshadow. Let's see how this performs, because I honestly can't believe that it's only $3. But from dipping my brush in there, first impressions, there's a lot of extra kickback, a lot of extra powder picked up, but to be honest, that doesn't really bother me. I know some people get bothered by that when it comes to eyeshadows, but I honestly don't mind. So just applying this to the crease first. Wow, that's actually really, really nice. Forgive me, but a lot of the time the connotation is that if something is less expensive or on the inexpensive side, it's not as good of quality, which you guys know I'm like a big advocate for drugstore brands and products, and the fact that you don't need to spend big to look good. Like, you can really achieve the same type of look with a lot of drugstore products as you can with higher-end products. But for an eyeshadow palette to be $3, I was like, how are they able to produce something like this? Like, what is the quality going to be like? But first impressions from using that matte shade is that it's really nice. It's very easy to blend, which a lot of the time, if a matte eyeshadow isn't of good quality, it'll be like chalky, powdery, kind of streaky, hard to blend. But this one actually feels really good, so I am very excited to use the other palettes. If you guys want me to do like other looks featuring the quads, because I think I have like 5 of them, so I could totally create like themed looks around them. But wow, that's so cool. I honestly, yeah, like, I'm shocked by the quality of these. Now that we've got that in there, I'm going to go into the palette. I'm so excited for this one. I've never tried, as I said, I've never tried any of the Juvia'S Place products before, and I certainly have never tried any of their eyeshadows. So this is the Violets by Juvia'S. So I think, what am I going to go in with first? I don't know. It's like so intense. Maybe I will put this in the crease. Actually, no. Maybe I will, actually, I'm going to go back into this real quick just to add a little bit of depth to the crease, because I typically like to apply like 2 shadows in the crease. So I've just taken that darker matte shadow, like the kind of burgundy toned one, and again I'm just going to run this through the crease. A lot of the shadows, from what I can see in that Juvia'S palette, are shimmery, and I felt like the other matte shadow was a little bit too light to lay down in here, so we're just gonna try this first. But wow, I can't believe the quality of these. It's so insane to me. Okay, so now going into the palette, I think like for my all over lid shade, let's do a mix. Oh, this is really tough. I feel like I don't know what shadows I want to use. Maybe I'll do like a mixture of these two. I'll start with this one over here actually. Let's put that one on first. And that's without any type of like spray to kind of make it pop a little more. Already it's like quite intense, as you guys can see. So off the bat, that shimmery shade is performing really, really well. Oh my goodness, yeah, it's so pretty and it layers really well. I feel like because of the tones that I already have on my lid, it's kind of pulling it more pink as well. So I might add like a little purple, because I did say I wanted to do like a purple look today. But straight up, that shadow is very, very, very pretty. I think I'm going to take a little bit of this shadow here, kind of apply it like on the outer 2/3 of the eye, just to kind of get more of that purple look. From what I can see so far, yeah, they layer very, very nicely. I'm liking this gradient effect as well, like the lighter to darker. I think that's really cool. So next up, I think I want to go straight into that dark matte purple shade of the palette, and this of course is going to go onto the outer corner of my eyes. So I really just want to deepen it up a little bit more, so we're going to add that. So far I'm liking how this look is turning out. It's kind of like, you know, got that like light pastelish type of effect, which kind of matches my shirt. I'm going pretty light with it because from what I can see so far, these shadows are very pigmented and it's a lot easier to add more than try and blend it away if you've added too much. Okay, now this look is giving me very like Purple Rain vibes. I feel like that matte shadow really brought out more of the purple tones. I'm also just gonna take, I think I'm gonna do like the deeper maroon type of shade that I took from the e.l.f. quad. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna run that along my bottom lash line just to finish off this eye look. And then I'll go in with the dark purple to kind of tie in with everything else. So yeah, just taking a little bit of that dark matte purple, I'm gonna run that along my bottom lash line as well. But I'm gonna keep this a little more closer and not blow it out as far as I did with that first shade. I like doing this, it just adds a little more, again, color and depth to the eye, and it like ties everything together nicely. But yeah, honestly, I don't really have a bad thing to say about either of those palettes. I am very impressed with the quality, the application, the vibrancy, like the colors themselves are really beautiful, and yeah, they actually worked really well together as well. That's the eyes done. Actually no, I want to add something to the inner corners, so I think I want to go into this shadow right here, the like pearlescent pastel purple kind of shade. I'm going to try add this to the inner corner of my eyes, just a little something in that area. And again, this is without like any type of spray to kind of add a little more vibrancy to it. That's the way it just performs on its own, and as you can see, it does a really good job. I'm just adding a little bit of mascara to my bottom lashes. I don't really buy mascaras, so I don't have any new mascaras to test out. You guys already know why. It's because I have lash extensions, so I don't really find much use for mascara. Yeah, those are the eyes done. I really like how they look. So moving on to the face now. I have like some products that are new that I haven't tried, and I have some things that I've used like once. So for example, this right here, the L'Oreal Back to Bronze bronzer. This one is in the shade Sunkiss. I'm just going to use this as my bronzer today. I've only used this once before. Kind of like the powder foundation, I just want to see like how it applies because I've only worn it once. So yeah, from what I remember, the last time I put this on, it was very minimal. It's not like other bronzers where it's intense. Oh, actually, you can build it up. From what I can see. Sometimes I try bronzers and I look at it and I'm like, did that even do anything to my face? Like the tones can be really light, which I understand, like everybody obviously has different skin tones, but sometimes I try bronzers and I'm like, okay, that's definitely not my color. But I feel like if I was any darker than this, then this probably wouldn't do much for me. So that's just something to keep in mind. So I'm going to use this to contour my nose with as well, because I just find it a lot easier to, you know, use the same thing that I use as my bronzer as my contour. I typically only contour my nose. Moving on to blush, I have this palette here from Revolution. This is their blush palette in Hot Spice. I've used some blushes from this palette, but not all of them. So I think today, okay, I don't know. There's like, this is why I get caught up with blush palettes, because there's so many that I'm like, I don't know what to use. But I think we're gonna go with this one down the bottom here. The pigment is pretty strong. I'm going in like really lightly, like I'm only applying the lightest amount to my brush, because sometimes I get too heavy with it and then I'm left like having to blend everything out. Again, I think it complements the eyes really nicely. Now that blush is applied, we're going to go into highlighter. If you guys have any recommendations for me for some good drugstore highlighters to test out, do let me know. But I was going through my collection because I don't have like a brand new highlighter to test out today, and I haven't used this one for a while. This is the L'Oreal Baked Gelato Swirl highlighter. I love their Gilded Honey one, which is more of like a golden tone highlighter, but this one is Peach Glow, and as you can see, it's like that peachy kind of pinky tone to it, which I think is going to go with this look really well. So yeah, like I said, it's been a while since I've used this highlighter. I actually am thinking that I need to do like a my most loved makeup products type of video. Does that make sense? Or like a shop my stash kind of video where I go through and just use a bunch of products that I haven't used for a while or that I like forgot about. Yeah, I can't fault that highlighter. It's a really beautiful formula, not too intense. You can build it up though, but I feel like lately I've been like a little more subtle with my highlighter, which I'm surprised with, because if you've been with me for a while, you know that I was all about the glow, which I am, but I just don't want it to be too overbearing to the point where it's like straight up strobe on my face. I think next up we are moving on to lips. So I do have a bunch of new lip products to try out, and I had to pick out like something that I thought would go well with this look. So I picked out these. We have some NYX lip liners, a e.l.f. lip plumping gloss, a NYX lip gloss, a e.l.f. lipstick. So I'm going to kind of go through, see if I can come up with some sort of like lip combination that's going to go well with this look. So for lip liner today, as I said, I have two NYX ones that I recently picked up, and I was really excited for these because we don't have the wooden NYX liners here in Australia. So I think I'm going to use this one Nude Truffle. I have Nude Truffle in brown, but I'm gonna test out Nude Truffle today, so yeah, let's see. Alright, off the bat, it's pretty good. I like it. It's not too dry, doesn't like crumble on the lips as I'm applying it. It's not as like creamy as the Morphe ones, which you guys might know that I do really love those. So far, I like the formula, and the color of this is really nice too. And then for lipstick today, I'm going to use this one from e.l.f. This is one of their, I think they're called their satin lipsticks. I don't know, I can't, Seriously Satin, I think it is. Yeah, Seriously Satin lipstick. First of all, I just like the packaging. It's very aesthetically pleasing to me with like the acrylic tube packaging. But this one is in the shade Creme, and it's like a pinkish nude. So let's see. Wow, okay, off the bat, it's very creamy. I like this lipstick. It's super creamy, even though it is a satin finish. I'm just gonna go back in and kind of blend through it with my lip liner. The lip liner does a great job of blending into that lipstick, but I think I'm going to add a little bit of gloss to it, just a little bit. This is the NYX Butter Gloss in Fortune Cookie. We do have NYX Butter Glosses here in Australia, but we don't have this shade. Like, I looked everywhere and we don't have this shade in our stores, so I'm just putting a little bit of this to the center. I already like the formula of NYX Butter Glosses, and I like this color. It's like a nice like pink toned nude, a little bit light as well. But I think for the most part this look is done. I actually have a setting spray to test out as well. I've heard nothing but good things about the Milani Make It Last setting spray, so let's test this out today, see what it's like. Oh wow, okay. The mister is very strong. Look at my forehead right now, it's wet. Wow, okay, that is very refreshing. The mister is really strong. I'm used to like setting sprays that are like a really light misting. I wasn't spraying it like too close to my face, I don't think, but that's like intense. However, it feels very nice on the skin. I'm just gonna kind of fan that into place. So there we have it, you guys. That is the look complete. I really like how everything turned out. You guys know that I typically don't gravitate towards purples or anything that's kind of out of my neutral comfort zone. However, I really like how this look turned out. So I want you to comment down below, let me know what you think. I really am so obsessed with the palettes that I tried. Can't wait to try more of the e.l.f. bite-sized quads, so let me know if you guys want to see more tutorials featuring any of those. But as always, I will leave a full list of everything that I used in today's video down in the description box, and you can also find all of the links to my social media accounts if you guys want to keep up with me on any of those. With that being said, I hope you guys are having an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. I hope you are staying safe, looking after yourselves, and looking out for each other. As always, I will talk to you guys in the comments, and I shall see you all in my next video. Said you're gonna ride, but you're stalling. Ain't about money, why we worried? Talking, I let it read.